What's up, guys? So today we're going to be changing the belts on my 91 Toyota MR2. It is a 5SFE 5-speed car. So if you're doing this yourself, here are the part numbers from O'Reilly's. The K040330 and then the K040350. So yeah, and then there's the dimensions of the belts. Pretty sure they're basically identical, except this one's a little bit wider. Anyways, ignore that for me. To do this, you're gonna have to take the passenger side rear wheel off, which I'm going to do right now. All right, once you grab your impact gun or whatever you're gonna use, just send it, I guess. So obviously after you take your lugs off, you want to take the wheel off. Also ignore this wheel choice. It's getting fixed here in like the next couple hours. So yeah, just take your wheel off now, and then you should have access to everything behind it. Also, as a safety precaution, I'm putting the wheel underneath the car, and I'm going to lower my jack because I couldn't get my jack stands to bite anywhere. So I'm gonna just lower the car, make sure the wheel is tucked up nice, that way it doesn't hurt anything. And easy. And as you saw, it's now on the wheel. So now the forces are spread out over evenly. There's your pulley. Mine's obviously seen better days, but it still works. So here's your serpentine belt, and then your alternator belt goes behind it. It goes up that way. Next thing you want to do is get a Phillips screwdriver. I think this is a Phillips 2 head, and remove these screws right here for this trim piece. There's one here. So let me get this out, I'll show you the other one. And then there's one here. So I think that's it. Yeah. That's it for the trim piece, I think. We'll find out in a minute. Of course, not everything goes as planned, and mine stripped out a little bit. I was able to break it loose, so I'm just gonna use these and get it out the rest of the way. With that second bolt remove, it should just pop right up. Yeah, it literally just came straight out after I did that. Also, I'd recommend undoing this ground, which I'm getting ready to do myself. So yeah, I think it's a 10. I'll be right back with a 10mm. So after you get that 10mm bolt out, it should let go. And then the alternator tensioner is down there. And I don't know where the serpentine tensioner is at the moment. I have a feeling it's that, but I'm gonna have to make sure. All right, so for the tensioner, which it is that, I was correct. It is a 14mm bolt on top, and then a 14mm bolt on the pulley. You just gotta loosen, just crack it loose after you loosen the top bolt, and then you should have play. As you can see, you got wow, hold up, the belt is now loose. So I'm going to loosen my tensioner more, just so I can have more slop to make life easier when it comes to putting the new one on. So yep, and this one was new. Yeah, there it goes. Just came all the way off. As you can see, this one was pretty new. Like, I think the previous owner I just bought it off of put this on not long ago. However, it has to come off for the alternator belt, so I might as well just replace both. So there's the old one. I'll get started with the alternator belt now since it has to go on first. So let me open the package up and I'll be right back. So I showed you guys what the tensioner was for the alternator. The belt goes on the second lobe. See, this is the first one for the serpentine, and then it goes on the one behind it. That's why we had to remove the serpentine belt in the first place. So this one might be a little harder to get to, just for the simple fact that it is all the way, it's gonna be hard, down there. Yeah, you can see it over there in the corner of the camera. Yeah, there it is. So I think that is a 14 down there as well. I actually need to loosen it. Obviously, if you loosen it, it makes it looser, and then if you tighten it, it'll tighten the belt up. So there's no weird stuff going on with there. So I'm gonna get that loosened and I'll get back with you guys. All right, so I was wrong. It is a 12mm bolt on the tensioner, which I seem to have loosened quite a bit. I'm going to now go underneath there and try to get the belt on there because I can't get my hand all the way up in there. It wasn't too bad to get to it. I just wrapped my hand around like this and went underneath, so I didn't have to remove the cruise control stuff. If you want to remove the cruise control stuff and just move it out of the way, I wouldn't be against it, but I don't feel like doing extra work when it wasn't that hard. So personal preference, if you want to remove it, you can. Anyways, I'm gonna get underneath the car and try to slide it on, and I'll be back with you once I get it on. Excuse my comment about the not taking the cruise control box off. I completely forgot the idea of the lock nut right there. So I need to pop this out, I think, and that should decide that it wants to let go. If I can actually get something to bite it. So yeah. Let me get this boy on there. Go. Can't get this thing to bite. Hang on, I'll just get it when I get it off. So I got the tensioner bolt loose. Mine was a 13. I don't think it's supposed to be a 13 because this has been replaced recently, so I think it may have been swapped to American bolt size. But once I got that loose and I loosened the tensioner up even more, I just grabbed it from underneath like so, and then just pulled up and it tilted. So the alternator belt is now on. So I'm going to tighten the lock bolt up. Don't focus on my finger, focus on that. And tighten that up, and then start tensioning it until she's good and tight. German spec. So after a lot of wrench turning, the alternator belt is now on, tensioned, and ready to go. So now we can start on the serpentine belt, which it should be easy as pie. There's no special way it goes on. It's literally just a triangle. Just hit all the pulleys and you're good. So that's very nice. So I'm going to just double check the 13mm bolt. I know the tensioner is tight. Just double check that 13, make sure it's nice in place, and then while we're putting the belt on down there, I'm going to tension up the bottom adjuster for the alternator, make it sure it's nice and tight. So I'll get to that here in a minute. So I just put the belt on. As you can see, it's just on there loosely, not any tension on it. But it literally just popped on so easily. So this one should be a cakewalk. It's literally just the 14 and the 14 nut on there. So I'm going to tighten that tensioner up, get it all buttoned up, and we should be done here. So like that, the serpentine is done. It's nice and tight. As you can see, it hardly budges. But yeah, So that's both the alternator and the serpentine belt. I need to do the timing belt sometime, because these 5S motors are, what are they called? They're belt driven timing gears. But on the positive side though, they are a non-interference engine, so if it does break, nothing major is going to be messed up. So yeah. Also, if you're wondering about the water pump is also driven off the timing belt, which I like personally. I changed the timing belt on one of these engines in my Camry I had before. But yeah, I love the 5S. It's so simple. It's so easy to work on. It might be a little tight, like space-wise at times, but great little motors. Couldn't recommend a better motor for somebody who wants to start wrenching to work on. Also, if you guys wanting an impact, but that's what I use to tension it up, because it's so nice. I could not recommend Milwaukee enough. You'll pay for it, but you will get your money's worth. They're probably the best on the market, if I'm being honest, when it comes to electric anyways. Especially the stubby, this little I think it's a 3/8 drive, but it's got like 250 or 300 foot-pounds of torque. Makes life so nice. Well, anyways, I think I'm gonna end the video here. Actually, I'll put the wheel back on, and I guess I'll see you guys next time. Peace.